Alright, so let's go through this cosine 2y minus 80 degree equal to sine 42. So we are asked to solve this Trigo equation. Of course, they say that the y, right, is more than or equal to negative 180 less or equal to 180. Okay, so for this question, before we do the steps, right, we need to set the range first. So meaning, for example, right, the 2y minus 80, you need to set this to 2y minus 18. So as you can see, right, this 2y minus 80. Then for the very left hand side inequality, right, you will get negative 440. Then for the right hand side of the inequality, you should get 280 degrees. So that's the very first thing that we should do. Okay, then now we want to talk about the quadrant, the very first step. So we want to determine because if you look at this, cosine equal to sine 42. And of course you press the calculator, sine 42 is positive 0.669. So which is positive, right? So means that, okay, for example, let's talk about the positive quadrant first. We want the A and the C quadrant, meaning I want the first quadrant and the fourth quadrant. So we got two quadrants already, okay. But not to forget, we also want the negative. Because you realize one thing, right? I want to go all the way to negative 440 degree. So how do I actually do this? Very simple. First, if you look at this quadrant right here, the quadrant that I draw, right? So when I rotate in the in the clockwise direction, right? Automatically this will be negative already. So this is negative. So I want in the fourth quadrant. Then after that, I rotate again. I rotate all the way to the first quadrant. So this whole thing right here, I rotate in the clockwise direction, right? So this will be another quadrant that I'm interested in. And of course, not to forget, I want the negative 440, right? So I rotate one round first. Then after that, I rotate a little bit more. I think I draw wrong. Okay, I rotate a little bit more. So like that. So these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quadrants. Okay, so the second step is actually to determine your basic angle. So basic angle is the simplest thing to determine. So for example, right, cosine alpha, so you just replace whatever you see there, like what 2y minus 80, you replace with alpha is equal to 0.669. Then you cosine inverse, right, you will get 48.0 degrees. So that will be the basic angle. Okay, third step, we draw. For example, let's talk about the positive one first. Okay, the very first quadrant that we are interested in is the first quadrant, because we want the positive, right? So, okay, so first you draw the angle, so 2y minus 80. So of course you draw the basic angle, 48. Okay, I believe the first answer come already. So 2y minus 80 degree is equal to 48 degree. So 2y is equal to 128 degree. So y is equal to 64 degree. Okay, the first answer come out already. Okay, the second answer will be the fourth quadrant. So you rotate all the way to the fourth quadrant, ASTC, right? So this is a C territory. So of course the basic angle must be right here, 48 degree here. So meaning that this 2y minus 80 degree, right, is equal to 360 minus 48. Let's see. Minus 48. Okay, so it's about 312. Okay, before I continue on, I go back to the range that I set just now. So, okay, 2y minus 80, the maximum you can go is 280. So means that this answer right here, right, 312 degree must be rejected. It's out of range already. So this one rejected. So means that right now I only got one answer, 64 degree. Okay, now we go on to the negative quadrant. So for example, okay, negative quadrant, when you rotate in the opposite direction, so you rotate in this direction, right? I want the C territory, right? So means that the angle that you write 2y minus 80 first. Then outside the 2y minus 80, you put a negative associated to it. Okay, then the basic angle 48, you don't change, because remember, for basic angle, always make it to be positive. So okay, so now it's time to solve already. So for example, right, negative 2y minus 80 degree is equal to 48. Time negative throughout, 2y minus 80, so it's equal to minus 48. So of course minus 80 you move over, so this will give you negative 48 plus 80, so this will be about 32 degree. So y is equal to 16 degree. So okay, this one might be part of the answer. Okay, let's move on to the third one. Okay, the third one is the first quadrant. So I will rotate all the way until the first quadrant. So minus 2y minus 80, right? Negative. So this whole thing, okay, this is 48. So meaning that this, I rotate all the way, right? So this one will be about 3, 1, 2 degree. Okay, so I just solve. So minus 2y minus 80 degree. So it's equal to 312. So 2y minus 80 equal to negative 312. 2y equal to, okay, let me just do a quick one. 312 plus 80. So it's about negative 232. So 1y is equal to divide by 2, negative 116 degree. So this is the third answer. Okay, the next, okay, I believe it's the last quadrant already. Okay, the last quadrant, okay, so the last quadrant, I rotate one round in the clockwise direction. I rotate a bit more to go to the fourth quadrant again, right? Okay, so this whole thing right here will be the negative 2y minus 80. Then of course not to forget this whole thing, so remember this 360. 360 you add a bit more of 48. So it's about 408 degree. So meaning that this whole thing, right? So this 2y minus 80 degree is equal to, okay, this is about 360, right? Plus 48, about 408 degree. So this will be 408. So you type negative throughout. So 2y minus 80 degree is equal to minus 408. So of course minus 80 move over lah. So it's 2y equal to minus 328 degree. So divide by 2 throughout is, okay, let me do a quick calculation. Negative 328 divide by 2. Yep. So it's about negative 164 degree. Yeah, so these are the few answers, about 4 answers if I'm not wrong. Okay, so let me just conclude. Okay, the very first answer will be 64 degree from the first quadrant. Okay, the so-called the fourth quadrant is out because it rejected. Okay, then this quadrant 16 degree, second answer. The third answer negative 116 degree, and last but not least, the last answer, the fourth answer, right, will be negative 164 degree. So that is how I actually solve this question.